Good evening, everyone. Thank you once more for joining us tonight in this virtual Small Business Expo. Hi, Joanne. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Very excited. Very excited. We are excited because we have a great program today. We have an amazing guest, and we continue in this journey of learning about small businesses, their needs, their wants, and aligning our services and resources so that we can better serve you, the community. This is a very special time where we are able to share resources, organizations, their mission, what they're doing in the community. But we also want to hear from you. This is a live program. You're welcome to send your comments, your questions. We want to hear from you. Please comment and share it. Maybe do a watch party in your Facebook page and invite other friends. After about 25 minutes, we will be inviting you to join us in a Zoom meeting to get to know you, to know your name and personally have a check-in with you. So that's also coming. Everybody's welcome. And we are so excited today. So Joanne, I don't know if you know, but we have a very special person that has been working in the organization for over 10 years, but has over 35 years of community organization and programming experience. And that is Fran Dalton from the Garfield Park Neighborhood Association.
Hi,
welcome, Fran. Hey.
So happy to be here.
Happy to have you. Absolutely.
This is a very special connection. You mentioned before when we were talking and preparing to go live, have you invited other neighborhood associations? And we said, no, you're the first one and the only one so far. So we would like to have more, but it's so good to have you as the representative for the neighborhood associations. It is such an important part of the community, these neighborhood associations. You are kind of the glue between the neighbors and the businesses and the resources from the community and resources from government. You make things happen. So Fran, can you welcome first? And can you please introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about what you do there in the Garfield Park Neighborhood Association.
Thank you so much for having me here and allowing me to represent Garfield Park Neighborhoods Association. As I've said to many people before, this is my retirement job, and it is the best retirement job ever. It's all the things I love to do in my community, ways that I love to interact, and opportunities to push forward the kinds of projects that are important to me. So I just love what I do. I am a neighborhood organizer, and I think that if that title was good enough for President Barack Obama, I'm taking it.
Absolutely.
That's what I do, and I'm happy to say that that's what my title is. A lot of what we do in the neighborhood association, though, is work with neighbors with regard to concerns, issues that they have, linking them to services or resources in the community that will help them address problems. We try to embrace our business community and help them move forward with their business objectives and goals. We also just try to be a conduit for facilitation of what it is our community wants, what our community expresses a need for.
Right, and it's not an easy job. It's not an easy job to understand what the needs are and coordinate real listening, right? Some people call it market research.
I think it just got to be a good listener and respond to what you hear. That's all it is to me, really.
That's right. Yes, yes. Well, I have some things that I have learned from what you're doing right now. Obviously, in the COVID world or post-COVID world, more than one need that needs to be addressed. And I see that you have responded very dynamically with the resources and connecting people. Can you tell us a little bit of what the Neighborhood Association is doing in relation with COVID-19?
When the pandemic struck, it kind of caught us completely unawares. And we had to I personally had to stop, settle down, and figure out how I was going to do my job and do it effectively, but way differently than we had been operating before, where there were no ways we could continue to have our community gatherings as we would want to do. There were no ways that we could just go out into the public at other community events and try to share information. We had to figure out how to do it differently. And that's in that regard, we had to start looking at social media. And we've hit it hard and heavy, real fast. And we've used our social media as effectively as I think it can be done. At this point in time, we have, I think, during the course of COVID, probably increased our contacts on our Facebook page by maybe 3,500 people. So that's kind of a lot from where we were.
Incredible.
So, and we've had to use it because that's our best way to reach out to people. We're using our Facebook, our web page. We've had one issue of our newsletter go out. We've just had to be really, really creative. We had to, when we were working with the census, promotion of the census, that was a major outreach into the community that we had to do. And we had all kinds of plans, 10 different events in the community that we planned to try to promote the 2020 census. Well, that couldn't happen. We had to cancel all of those. So what did we do? Well, we went out and got a bunch of yard signs printed up and got those out. You have to think fast and you have to think on your feet in order to be able to do the work that needs to be done and do it in a really effective kind of a way. So,
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I see. I've had a number of things that you're involved with the NTF. You are involved with bringing information to businesses about how to apply for relief funds. But also you have continued kind of like adapted and with your regular scheduling things. And those can be issues from, anything the neighborhoods need. And I saw you have a video just recently regarding crime prevention. That's one of the things that has been, with all the protests and all the things that we are facing. Safety is a big issue, and you created a video. Do you want to share with us that video?
I think that we've got a link on a banner or something for it. What we did is normally what I would have done during this time of the year, starting in spring and on into through the summer, would be convening community in-services and workshops on different topics. One of them certainly would have been crime prevention if I could. But again, that was not something I feel safe to do. So I thought, well, I have to get the message out here. How can I do that? So I had a colleague come in and tape me doing the presentation. Then the presentation went onto our Facebook page and on YouTube, and that's how we just have to be really creative about how we do things.
Right. Yes. Well, I am very glad that you have been able to continue the work that you're doing. I want to share your webpage. So I want to take our viewers to your webpage. It's really well done. We were commenting about this. You have, the Garfield Park Neighborhood Association Unification Project, etc. In the bottom part, you have, your mission of what you do and your contact information. But over here, you have your newsletters. And the newsletters are both in English and Spanish. Yeah,
it has to be. We've got a growing Hispanic population, so we absolutely make sure that we get our Spanish language people needs.
And I have to say, excellent translation. For me, it's important, the translation. You did a great job there with the translation, but I hope that this opens up so that we can see the newsletter, the latest newsletter, spring of 2020. But one of the things that you put there, there you go. Unification Project, the Unification Project. There you go. Yep. And then I want to scroll down. You have some resources for the coronavirus. This is obviously some of these things have changed. A lot of things have changed, but the 211, it's the door, right? How has response from the community, Fran,
Well,
related to COVID-19? Have you been able to?
We've been real fortunate that
Go
we've
ahead.
accessed funding to do different kinds of things related to COVID. We've gotten United Way funds to help us to assist people with food in insufficiency. And now we're moving into a housing fund base to help folks with their rent payments. So we've been very fortunate that we've been able to access monies that during the COVID pandemic to help people that are in need at this time because of it. We've also been able to tap into a food distribution network. So we've given out, I think, like maybe 6,000 boxes of food so far. Since we began the food distribution, serving about 4,000 people. No, I've got my numbers back. It's 4,000 boxes, 6,000 people. There it is.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
It really is. Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful. I can see too, you have the little Scan Me, super easy way to connect. And I know that you worked directly with other entrepreneurship agencies that are helping people apply for relief as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Not only for individuals in families, giving them essential needs, but you're also working with businesses inside.
Yes.
Helping them apply. Is that right?
What we did, a couple of things have happened that have been business related. On a regular basis, we are hearing from city and the chamber of resources that are opening up to businesses, and it happens so quickly. And it moves at such a rapid pace because as soon as it opens, practically all the money is gone. So we are trying to get word out as quickly as we hear it on our Facebook page to our community, so businesses are aware that this is available to you. Get on it and go after these dollars now before they're gone. So that's the information that we post is kind of like, I feel like it's evolving daily. It changes daily.
Yes.
The resources change daily. Where you can get tested, things pop up and then they go away and they pop up again. That changes almost on a weekly basis. So that's the kind of, we have to be really attuned to what's going on in the community and getting the word out as it presents itself to us. Because if we don't, we're late. Timeliness of communication, pretty essential.
Right. I should say today also for our viewers, next week we will have Ed Gardner. Ed Gardner is from the Small Business Development Center of West Michigan, this region. He will be talking about, a lot of the questions that we have, or touching into the questions of how to apply to relief funds. They're still available. So for our viewers, if you are interested, please join us next week on Thursday at 7 o'clock. We will be talking to Ed. But let me go down in your newsletter. Very well done. You have a board member there, Marcel Price, and you explain who he is. You have amazing people connected. Updates about the park, the splash project. A lead update, and then some events that were happening. Also, in the bottom part, you have, of course, civil engagement, voter turnout. And I wanted to get to this one over here because we also have, in this Small Business Expo, we'll have Jamil Robinson. He will be with us on August the 6th, speaking about how, ideas to bounce up and back to business. But over here, you have this article related to this fund and this initiative specifically for Black business. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I don't know an awful lot about it, but I do know that Jamil is starting up a nonprofit, has space, in fact, for it over on Eastern near Burton, I believe. And it's a special, there it is, right there. And he's going to be providing special services to new businesses, emerging businesses, to help them move forward and become more successful in the community.
Yep. Well, we are excited to have him, and this is all about producing revenue that supports the community and creates this sense of economic security and help us grow.
Local businesses build jobs within the community. It's just,
right. Yes, and we want to support. That's exactly what we need. That's exactly what neighborhood associations should be doing. But these I found super interesting because, of course, we are the library. These black book boxes, exchange boxes, beautiful. I know there was an interview with Ari I can't say her name, Joelle, Joelle, and the artist is Miss Weber, Ella Lipcomb Weber. Beautiful boxes.
Yes, they are lovely.
Are these active? Do you have anything that needs to in terms of social distancing and what can be taken and how can be taken? Are they active? Do you have books in there?
We have a book box outside of our lodge. It's not one of those book boxes. It's another one. It's one of yours, actually. But we do have a book box outside of the lodge in Garfield Park.
And these are located in homes, I understand, right? Homes in the community.
Yes.
The community is welcome to have those, and they can join putting them in front of their houses. And I find that amazing and beautiful. So, Fran, it's just amazing how flexible you are, how many areas you're moving into, how many community members you're involving and giving them a task and just letting them fly. And I think that speaks about your work.
It's a great job. It really is. It really is.
Well, I encourage everyone.
I'm sorry, you said?
I am just encouraging everybody to go to your website and learn more about this. This is an amazing association, a model for other associations of how to reach out and how to make relevant the work of the community and support each other.
When I talked to you earlier mentioned how we try to listen and then be responsive to the needs, wants, desires, wishes of our community. The splash pad is a result of that. When we had the renovation and the park millage for the renovation of the park, there was a splash pad to be part of that renovation, but money didn't go quite that far, so we lost the pool in the park and didn't get a splash pad. Got plenty of other renovations, but didn't get that. And that's a well-used park, and many of our parents were, disappointed at the loss of a water feature in the park for the kids. So what they did is they came to the neighborhood association and said, we really would like to see something to replace the loss of the pool. So the neighborhood association decided then to bring together a group of people, community members that wanted to talk with the city about how we could perhaps see a way to replace the pool with some kind of a water feature. And so our job is again, as a collaborator of different bodies to try to get something done. So we got the community members, the city together, and they came up with an idea of submitting a grant to the state, which was done with help of the Grand Rapids Parks and Recreation Department and the community members. Grant was submitted to the state. It was awarded. It was a match fund grant that we had gotten with the cooperation of Grand Rapids Parks and Recreation and the Grand Rapids Friends of Grand Rapids Parks. We couldn't have done that by ourselves. We had to pull that collaboration together, and now we're going to get $150,000
That's amazing.
Resource in the park. It's a fantastic way to move forward an idea from an idea to an actual concrete thing.
That's phenomenal, Fran.
That people have expressed. I'm very pleased when we're able to do those kinds of things.
I think that
one of the
same
things I noticed, yeah.
Go ahead.
One of the things I noticed on your website, Fran, was a spot where people can click to possibly volunteer with the neighborhood association. What ways can people volunteer?
Right now, as we are in social distancing, it's difficult, but I believe that there are some projects that the board and I would like to probably see move forward that volunteers can help us with, like a membership development project.
Sure.
That would be a wonderful project for somebody to take on, but it's very labor intensive, and so it doesn't move forward because of that. Because you need a good, solid volunteer cadre to push that work forward. Because again, it's really resource intensive.
Yeah, definitely.
I wanted to. Well, at first, I wanted to say that in your newsletter, you also described the same process with the boxes, with the black book boxes, how it goes from an idea to an actual project that can be used with kids. And that is amazing, because we all have amazing ideas, but to actually make it happen, that's where the value is. Okay, if you're able to reach a lot of neighbors from different neighborhood associations and also from yours, what can you say to neighbors that they can do to support their local economy, their local businesses? How can they support their own neighbors that are in need? And from your experience, what would you say?
I'll tell you about a project I want to kick off this fall. And it addresses our kids in our schools. I didn't know. I was at a meeting and I heard about the Grand Rapids Public Schools having a specific program developed for servicing the needs of kids in the public school system that are considered homeless. And I had no idea there was even such a program as that. Then I dug in a little deeper because I was curious about, well, how does that impact our schools in the Garfield Park area? What do we have children in our schools that would be part of this program? Turned out we had at least 70 kids that are considered homeless in our area schools in the Garfield Park area. I said, oh, well, this is ridiculous. How can we not know this? So what I'm trying to do for the fall, and this is a way I think folks can involve themselves, is to develop a pantry that will stock things for these kids so that when they go home on the weekends, they've got something to go home with. Because many of them are just relying on the meals that they're getting while they're in school, but the weekend comes, there's no school. So that's one of the projects I would like to move forward in the fall.
That's beautiful. We know that in your newsletter, even in your newsletter, you have the map, the PNTF and the food partners. Joanne is part of that group. Have developed to show our neighbors and our community in general where they can have food, access food. So maybe you can comment in this too. But there are many different points where you could go aside of the food pantries, and including our libraries. We have 12 libraries where you can go and get what is called Meet Up, Eat Up, which is a lunch program. But I think that this is one of big issue, food security for kids when they're not in school, or even during school, but after hours, and also water. That's one of the things that we were talking about. And I think, Joanne, can you speak a little bit about this, about thinking about what neighbors can do actually to help it with that need?
Water has been something that they've really talked about quite a bit. They talked about it again today. One of the solutions that's been put forward is that Mel Trotter Ministries downtown in Dégagé have had their water hoses turned back on so that people can fill water bottles. on days when it's 90 degrees or higher in temperature. So that's one thing that they've been able to do. There's also a new grant system that's been provided through United Way. It's Kent County funds that local organizations can apply for, which would help their neighbors in lots of different ways. You just kind of have to come up with an idea and apply. So, that's another way. I know the libraries are looking for ways that we can help with the water situation too, especially on hot days when our branches aren't open and our water fountains can't be used during the COVID-19 situation. So that it's a real issue and something that we've got to think totally outside the box and away from the normal water fountain to find a solution, to find a resolution, because people need water. That's essential. That's an essential need.
So some things that we can do: donate directly, get involved with your local neighborhood association, get involved with initiatives and needs that you see or that they inform you that they see, like this idea of water. But then also other things that you can do in your area is buy local. Make sure that you buy gift cards, buy now, use later, of local businesses, things that are happening in the local community. Support your neighbors. And then there are people in need around you, even if we don't see them. There are people in need, and we want to get involved with these beautiful initiatives, like the one that you're thinking of in the fall, Fran. Yep. Finally, I want to this time we are going to share some resources from the library, but I would like to give you a space so that you can speak to the community about the importance of a neighborhood association. And then we are going to invite our viewers to join us and to get to know them personally and meet them. We will send a Zoom meeting link where you can join us. We can get to know you, get to know your name. You can speak directly to Fran. And then we wait for you next week at 7:00. We will have Ed Gardner. And we are happy to have you here. But Fran, this is your time to give your final message to our viewers.
Garfield Park Neighborhoods Association, please call us at area code 616-241-2443 or visit our Facebook page. Leave us a message there. We are available. During COVID, we have been operating all the way through it. We've never shut down. So we are there for you. Please reach out anytime you need us.
This is your time to give your. Thank you very much, Fran. So I don't know if you know this, but the library has been trying to work really hard to share the resources that we have with every single business, organization, and partner that is working directly with the community. And we have Miss Sarah Magnuson, our librarian for the adult education, who shares the resources from the library. Let's put Sarah and let us tell us what she has prepared for this week.
It's Sarah, librarian and outreach specialist, here with your KDL Connection. Kent District Library has all the resources for your workforce development needs, from Career Online High School to prepare you for the career that you want, to our databases and collections that will help you grow your small business. Let's see how we can connect with today's topic.
Let's begin at our website, kdl.org. And from there, we'll find that we have Learn and Research, our online and research databases.
This time we're going to stick with our general reference category, which encompasses a wide variety of content, oftentimes academic, peer-reviewed articles, ebooks, opposing viewpoints, and even a hobbies and craft reference center.
But we want Master File Complete.
This collection of full-text articles and reference materials provides an easily searchable database. We're going to look for neighborhood associations. Let's see what we find. There are over 6,000 returns searching the term neighborhood association. To narrow that down, let's do publication by just the last 5 years. So that limits to only 4,000 results. Still a lot, but we can see that there's some really good results. Neighborhood associations and social capital might be a good choice. So we'll click on that and we'll see under that listing a subjects heading, which gives us other search terms we might try. By clicking citizens associations, we may find more related articles. So while searching, you may learn new words to find what you need.
Thanks for being here with us today. And I hope that you'll join us next week for another Small Business Expo where we'll share more KDL connections.
Thank you, Sarah. That was wonderful. Fran, did you know about this?
I couldn't hear it because it didn't come up on my screen.
Oh, no.
Oh,
I know. I was disappointed.
Then we have to visit you then. There are so many resources in the library to connect and to help in this conversation. The goal of these small businesses, Fran, is to connect with entrepreneurs and people that are investing their effort in workforce development and economic security. That is the best way that we have found that we address the needs of the community. Mm-hmm. Not only creating programs to assist them, but actually creating capital, bringing capital to our neighborhoods so that we can create jobs and achieve financial stabilization. So I am very grateful for organizations such as yours and for people like you that have invested their whole life in others. So thank you for all you do right there in the Neighborhood Association. It's really a wonderful place full of warm people like you. At this time, I would like to invite you, Fran, and everybody else who's watching to join us in a Zoom meeting to see if we can get to know each other a little better. So
I'll see you there.
Joanne, you can take it away.
Yep, I will see you over at Zoom.
All right.
So I have to connect myself then?
Yes, the Zoom meeting is posted on the comments. Please go to the comments and then we'll see you in the Zoom meeting. Joanne will be waiting for you.
If I just click into it, it'll take me there?
Yes, it will.